How's it going, traders? It's the Pup of Wall Street back with another weekday review, crypto special. We're going to take a look at some of my favorite crypto names as well as stocks related to the crypto space. So if you get a chance, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Doing so will get you these actionable trade ideas right away. And if you feel if I'm talking too slow, make sure to level up and watch this at 1.25 or 1.5 speed. I highly recommend you do not go to 2.0 because I don't think I talk too fast. Anyway, let's dig into some of these charts. So taking a quick look at Bitcoin, you can see we finally cracked that 44,000 mark. So we do have our 618 retrace at 44,240. And so you could see we wicked through that today, as well as breaking through the 50 SMA. And over the last 2 days, we've broke our down channel. Now, if we can hold over 44,240, let's say we get a daily close over 44,240, then I think we'll have a shot at testing this 200 SMA. Now, keep in mind, anchored to our previous swing high, we do have a bit of supply up here. So I would expect if we even come into that 45,000 range, we probably will start to consolidate somewhere in this area from 45 to 50,000. If we can crack 50K, then we have a volume gap right here up to about 54 to 55K. So that's what I would be watching. But I think first, if we can break and hold over 44,240, I'd be watching for a retest of this 200 SMA. You could see it acted as support here until we finally broke down, and then it turned resistance. And so anything that turns that support, generally when you lose it, turns as resistance. So I would expect possibly a retest and then maybe some consolidation. Maybe we have an inverse head and shoulders potentially forming with that neckline. So let's wait and see what that looks like. Let's take a quick look at Ethereum. So, looking really quick at Bitcoin, we've already broken that 50 SMA. With Ethereum, we have yet to break that level yet. So let's just take a quick look. Let's chart this out. So we have a down trend line right here. Let's get that done right. And sometimes when I do my videos, I'd like to do live charting just so you get an idea of what I'm doing. And so you could see I try and be the real deal, right? So in any event, you could see we did lose this. We did have a, how do you call it? Not a golden cross, a death cross. There we go, death cross. So a death cross is when the 50 SMA comes under and crosses under the 200 SMA. This is exactly what we got here. Now, we're getting a quick rebound. Again, this could be our left shoulder head, and maybe we get a right shoulder here along that 200 SMA. But first, we need to break the downtrend line, which actually is right on that 50 SMA. So we might see a little resistance there before we finally break out. But it looks like if it follows Bitcoin, it looks like that's what's going to happen. And let me properly anchor our volume profile here. And that'll give us a good sense of where supply is. So yeah, you could see supply is pretty much right here. So we've got a pretty big supply zone right over that 200 SMA. So that's what I would be watching for. And let's take a quick look at the retracement levels for Ethereum. So coming from the swing high to that swing low. And you can see we're tapping that 382 retracement right there. So once we break that, if we do, 3196, then I would expect to move back up to 3,500. Which is right at our 200 SMA. And so that's where I would expect a little bit of resistance. And when you see moves like this to the upside, if we do get those breakouts, then I would expect a move to the 618 at 38.38, which makes a lot of sense because it's right in our supply zone. So that would be the area that I would watch for potentially a bit of a reversal. Let's take a look at Cardano. That's still in a downtrend. We won't see this move until Bitcoin and Ethereum stop moving. Let's take a look at Polkadot. Same story as Cardano. Take a look at Link, same story there. Take a look at Sol, same story there. So really we're waiting for Ethereum and Bitcoin to finish their moves, and then we'll take it from there. Let's take a quick look at some of the miners. So Hut had a nice move today. We do have an inbound death cross here, as you can see, and I'll explain it again. Death cross is when the 50 SMA crosses under the 200 SMA. And you could see that happened for a brief moment right here until we came right back up. So the question is, do we get that very same move before we make a move higher? So watch for resistance here on these 2 moving average. That's going to add, a little bit of extra confluence of resistance to the upside. Let me move volume back to our previous swing high before this swing high. Gives us a little better sense of where our volume is. And so we're coming into a supply zone right here. So, again, when you come into these supply zones, they act as like psychological resistance levels because anybody that bought up here is basically bag holding down here. So as you come into these levels, let's talk about the people who bought here. As you come back into these supply zones, people that are over here are like, wow, I was down, let's say 40, 50% down here. And now as price comes back into me, I'm break even. And so I'm just going to exit the trade. I'll take my money back and forget you, market. You didn't pay me anything because I was a bad technician and I bought at the wrong time. And so what will happen is they sell into you. And so as price rises into supply, you usually get some sort of consolidation, maybe even a rejection to the downside. So that's what I would be watching for Hut coming into that level. Let's take a quick look at Mara, made a similar move. You can see I had a down channel right here. We did kind of break out already on that, but we had an inverted hammer today. And so let me fix these lines real quick. I haven't updated these charts. Again, I like to sometimes do these live with you all. And you could see here we did have a death cross right there. And let me get this properly anchored to the proper swing high. And let's see. There we go. Come on. You want to grab it. It just doesn't want to grab it sometimes. There we go. All right, so we'll do it from the previous swing high. And so you can see that our next supply zone to the upside is right at where the moving averages are, which makes a lot of sense. So could we see a move back up into the moving averages? Absolutely. Maybe we have a 10% move, right? We're at $25. Maybe we have a $5 to $7 move into $32, which I had marked off on these 2 lines right here. So again, previous resistance right here, support right here. And so, yeah, I think best case scenario, we come into that $32 mark before we get rejected by supply. Again, all the people that basically would have bought, over here and over here will sell into us as we're coming into that supply zone. So that's what, I'd be looking at. We'll take a quick look at some of the other names. MSTR, bouncing, but, stock is fundamentally broken. SI, again, came into that 1272 extension to the upside off of a previous swing high, swing low. We got rejected off of that level. And now it looks like potentially an ABC move to the downside right here, right? ABC. So let's see if this level down here, $85, is acting as support. So far, we're getting a bounce to the upside, but this is guilty until proven innocent. We still have the 50 SMA and the 200 SMA up above before we, can potentially see this more bullish to the upside. You could take a look back and look at what happened when the 50 SMA came into the 200, right? We had a bit of a compression and then we had a nice move up. Let's see if price comes back into these levels. We get a similar type of compression before price moves back up. And again, this will all be determined on whether or not Bitcoin continues to, and crypto in general continues to the upside. So want to keep these videos under 10 minutes. So we're at 9.5 right now. So like I said, if you can, give me a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And I'll try and do more crypto-related videos in the near future. So until then, have a great day and a great rest of your week in the market.